Hello, everyone. So, a new video today says here from Business Insider how billionaires control U.S. elections. Ooh, let's find out.
We've never seen this much money flow into U.S. elections. And in recent years, big donors like Ken Griffin, George Soros, and Reid Hoffman.
Well, it's this guy. Why is he the only the youngest one? God damn, that's some age right there, man.
Have contributed to swaying election outcomes. So, how much is being raised? Where does that money go? And can that make or break an election? I'm John Dorman.
His mouth moves weird when he talks. It's very distracting.
And I'm a senior politics reporter at Business Insider. Seeing billions upon billions upon billions of dollars raised is a relatively recent phenomenon in American politics. The first time that both presidential campaigns raised over $1 billion was in 2012 in the race between President Barack Obama and Republican Mitt Romney. It was an historic achievement. Those numbers have only gone up. In the 2000
Really? Why? Why did it just suddenly increase all of a sudden?
2020 cycle, there was $14.4 billion that was raised between congressional races and the presidential race, which is a
And where did that money go?
huge amount of money. Here are the consequences of so much money flowing into elections. Usually, candidates who spend more money win their races. In 2022, nearly 94% of House candidates who raised the most money won their races. And for the Senate races that year...
Yeah, but also, if they raise the most money, they probably have the most support as well. So it's hard to say it's just because of the money they're winning. It could just be that they have the most support. And that support is not just money. It's also the media. The media is pushing them more, so people who haven't heard about them hear about them more.
Roughly 82% of Senate candidates who raised the most money won their races. But for presidential campaigns, things are a bit different. For example, in 2016, Hillary Clinton raised more money than Donald Trump, but she lost the election. So there's not always a clear correlation between...
Yeah, but she was already a known entity, and people already didn't like her for other reasons. It wasn't just that, oh, she had the most money and she didn't win. It's also, as much as people dislike Donald Trump, that she also came off as a fraud and she lost a lot of support because of it. You know, like, people don't like to be duped. And as much as people hate him, no one thinks Donald Trump is fooling anybody.
How much is raised and who actually wins the election. The campaign money goes towards everything, including hosting rallies, to opening offices and hiring staff in swing states, and to consulting fees. But the biggest thing would be advertising, whether it's direct mail, whether it's television, radio advertisements,
news channels.
Are we ready to get to work?
And also social media ads. Candidates are trying to figure out a way to reach voters, and they'll use whatever methods that they can in order to do that. Fundraising is a critical part of any president.
Oh. So that's why she got all those celebrities supporting Kamala. They got a huge payday to show up to do basically a concert. I thought they would. Why did I think they were doing it for free? Oh my God. Of course they got paid. Oh.
Presidential campaign. The most prominent example of this is after Biden's disastrous debate in June, which left many Democrats fretting and nervous.
He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term.
You had the actor George Clooney, who asked Biden to step aside. You had major Democratic donor, such as Abigail Disney, who said that she wouldn't donate.
Abigail Disney. Wow. My Lord.
Money to the campaign any longer if Biden was a nominee. For them not to contribute money meant that the campaign was going to struggle. Once people saw that basically the faucet was turning off, that really...
Holy shit. So they funnel so much money in that they pretty much get to determine who wins. Because there was so much money being funneled in, it came to the point where if they stopped supporting you and you lost that momentum with that money, the other candidate wins right away. So they got you by the balls just by, they give you a little bit of rope. Man, golly.
Really influenced the campaign, and it likely contributed to Biden exiting the race. An immense amount of money has already been raised.
No, it makes sense. Like, he had to exit at that point, because if the campaign stopped getting money, the opponent wins and he has no chance. So he pretty much had to give up his position to his running mate, because she can access those campaign funds, and she was the only one that could access those campaign funds, making her the nominee by default. They couldn't even vote on who was going to be the nominee, because she already had. Oh my God, dude, that is crazy.
2024 presidential race. And right now, Democrats have the momentum in terms of how much has been raised. Vice President Kamala Harris.
Yeah, and that's what always confused me about the Democrats, because they always say, oh, you know, they're the party of the people and all this stuff, and they're like, oh, they're like against big corporations and all this stuff, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense. The richest people are supporting you. All these corporations, all these news channels are part of corporations. They're all supporting you. If they don't get any benefits, why would they be supporting you? Why are you saying Trump is the one making rich people richer when the rich people are supporting you? It doesn't make any sense. You're obviously lying. But why would you tell such an obvious lie? I guess because it's working. It's crazy.
Raised $310 million in July alone. Part of that money was inherited from the Biden campaign. It rolled over to her campaign.
We thank Joe Biden. Each and every...
Yeah, you thanked him because he gave you a chance. You never had to... You pretty much just got your position because he got you as a DEI hire to get him elected. And because you were just in that position, you never had to really win a race or anything. You were just in that position by default. You get a chance to be president because you couldn't do it on your own. I would thank him. He handed you a career and a legacy.
So now she has $377 million cash on hand. Former President Donald Trump has $327 million cash on hand. So the Democrats are about $50 million ahead. They have momentum at the moment. On the day that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz was announced as Kamala Harris's running mate.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do.
Just thinking about it now, I'm starting to think, because the races are so determined by money, and the vice president nominee pretty much means nothing. I'm starting to think that they choose their vice president based on who would bring in the most money, most donors, rather than who would bring in the most, like who would match them better or have the best political view or whatever.
This together. Would you be my running mate?
Act Blue took in about $20 million on that day alone, a really big sum, and it shows that Democrats are really motivated. Whereas
she probably chose Tim Walz because he was known to like follow certain views that would resonate with a party, and she gets more money because of it. Because it doesn't make, like, who the hell is Tim Walz? Where the hell did he come from? Like, it's so random. Like, she never even had a conversation with this dude, no history with this, and then she chooses him. It's all about donation money.
They didn't have that about a month ago. There are three ways that money can be donated, whether it's individual contributions or through PACs or through super PACs. Individual contributions are subject to strict limits under federal law. Individuals can only contribute up to $6,600 for an election cycle. And then
why 66? That's a very specific number. And why the sixes?
you have PACs, political action committees. They contribute money to campaigns and they can be formed for businesses or organizations. There's a $5,000 limit for individual candidate committee. And then you have super PACs, which can accept unlimited contributions from individuals and corporations. They can have a huge impact on American elections. Wealthy donors are increasingly playing a huge role in shaping America.
Yeah, but what do they get from that? If they're donating all that money in there, do they get kickbacks because of that? Do they get tax credits because of it? Like, there's got to be a benefit for them just throwing a bunch of money at a candidate like that. Do they get their money back after the race? Or does the money just get pocketed by the candidate? Where does the money go?
American politics.
Do they borrow from banks to donate? Like, what's happening? There's got to be some nefarious money laundering going on with these super PACs.
In the 2022 midterm election cycle, billionaires contributed about $880 million. But small dollar donations are also an important part of elections, and we're seeing that play out in the presidential race. The influx of money to campaigns is often uneven, and big events can influence how people donate to campaigns. For example, when Vice President Kamala Harris announced her candidacy for president after President Joe Biden stepped aside, she raised about $81 million within 24 hours from 880,000 people. That's a huge figure.
Those same donors are the ones that freaking forced him to pull out of the race. So yeah, of course they're going to start donating again.
And that's unprecedented. Trump's legal issues have also caused an influx of money to his GOP presidential campaign. In May 2024, Trump and his ally Super PAC raised $140 million, and much of that money came after he was convicted of 34 felony counts.
This was a disgrace.
There's money coming into these campaigns from all across the country, but a few players could have a huge impact on the upcoming election. For example, George Soros gave $60 million through a nonprofit that he founded to the Democracy PAC in April 2024.
A nonprofit that he funded. Oh my God. So, because I know all these billionaires and there's rich people, they find these nonprofits and all this stuff because they do get tax credit for these donations and these stuff like that. So you can funnel money through a nonprofit, get that as a tax credit, and then send that nonprofit money into an election again. And they must get a kickback from that too. I just don't know what it is.
That money is going to go to aid House and Senate Democratic candidates. And this isn't the first time that George Soros has done this. He's been a prolific donor for a long time. In the 2022 midterm cycle alone, Soros gave $170 million. Another major 2024 figure is Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Musk has been very supportive of former President Donald Trump. And the Wall Street Journal recently reported that Musk would be donating $45 million a month to help Republican campaign efforts through the end of the election. But when contacted, Musk denied it and said that he wouldn't be doing that. Another example is Reed Hastings. The Netflix co-founder contributed $7 million to a super PAC affiliated with Kamala Harris in late July. And then there are people that we've never heard of. For example, there's Timothy Mellon. He contributed $50 million to a pro-Trump super PAC the day after Trump was convicted in a Manhattan court. It's one of the largest single contributions ever. And then you have Linda McMahon.
Wait, why do they have a black and white photo of this dude? What else is going on? They've never seen him in real life? What is going on? This man is just a memory. That's an actor playing him or something.
She served in Trump's cabinet, and she's already donated $10 million to a pro-Trump super PAC.
Who's this lady?
Did in a Manhattan court. It's one of the largest single contributions ever. And then you have Linda McMahon. She served in Trump's cabinet, and she's already donated $10 million to a pro-Trump.
Is that Vince McMahon's wife? Didn't she divorce him or something? Damn, she's using this money to support Trump.
Super PAC in this cycle. But it's also the policies of elected officials that can be influenced depending on who donates money. For example, politicians may have to prioritize the interests of donors who've contributed to their campaigns. If you look at Trump, oil and gas interests are lining up behind his campaign because of his strong support of the fossil fuel industry, and they're expecting to have his ear in the White House should he win again. Americans continue to want money out of politics. 72.
Yeah, but what is the Democratic voters? What did do the Democratic supporters? What do they get? Jesus Christ, the words. I get what the oil and gas people get from Trump, because they, you know what I mean, they get to make more money and they get less sanctions on them. But the Democratic voters, what do they get? What are these actors and news stations, all these people? What do they get? What do they sell? They sell image, promotion, ideas. Are there any sanctions on the kind of things they can show and promote? Because there's a lot of activism in TV shows and movies nowadays, and a lot of that stuff started happening around the time that Democrats started getting into office. And you got BlackRock with the whole DEI thing, and they're pushing that hard, and they like are the American people getting sold out by the Democratic Party? That seems like the only thing they really sell is like ideas and entertainment to people, right? So like, what else would they be getting?
2% of Americans indicated that they would like to see limits on how much individuals or organizations can contribute to political campaigns. But right now, money has become an increasingly larger part of how our political system functions.
Damn. That's crazy, man. That's very informative. Learned a lot. And learned that there's a lot that I don't know. Anyways, until next time.